You got to fall in love with not the lifestyle, but the lifestyle it takes to get the lifestyle. We never rise to the level of our goals. We just fall to the level of our systems. We fall to what it is that we put in place, our routines. This call ambassadors of the kingdom, or otherwise known as ALTK, has a very specific purpose. And above all else, the goal is to show people that if you practice God's principles, you can participate in his promises. Do I have just one or two people in the building tonight that are excited about that message? Somebody type of ALTK in the chat box. I get excited when I think about that because I really believe in principle. I really believe in information, that is foundational, information that never changes, information that's timeless. Whenever you get into your feelings, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing on the other side of your feelings. But at the end of every principle is a promise. Type of ALTK in the chat box. So the goal today, and with every single call, every single Saturday, unless there's, I'm traveling or something of that nature, I try to get on here and give y'all some value for free. It doesn't matter what company that you may be a part of. Doesn't matter, what product or service that you may offer. Doesn't matter if, you're not in business. This is information that I like to say is success principles and God principles, which are really one and the same. Okay, so again, if you can get excited about that, if you're excited to be here with me this morning, type of ALTK in the chat box, guys. I'm going to get into this information. So the first thing is this. I always tell people, what you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. So share this out with somebody else. I tell people growth is better when you do it together, right? Partner with me today and share this out. If you're on Instagram, hit the arrow button, share it out. If you're watching this on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, subscribe, share, join the free Discord service in my story right now. It's also in the bio of the ALTK Instagram page. But first things first, those of you guys who don't know my style is to be effective, not eternal. Okay, so I'm going to go back and forth between slides this morning and, of course, just talking to y'all. I want to just have a real conversation with you guys. But when you talk about consistency, the power of consistency and intent, I really believe it starts with your self-image. How many guys ever maybe lacked, right, in your self-image? How many guys ever maybe looked at yourself and maybe, you weren't up to par with where you thought you should be? I will be the first to say yes. Okay, I will be the first to say yes. How many guys have ever dealt with, self-image before? Maybe you didn't have the most confidence. Maybe, you didn't see yourself as worthy. You didn't see yourself as deserving. Let me put it this way. Some of you guys are like, no, man, that's not me. How many guys wanted to go to a new level in life and you wanted to get to a new level of success? You wanted to achieve uncommon results, and you had to ask yourself, do I deserve that? Am I worthy of that? Is that something that, people like me ever get to, people like me ever achieve? Ladies and gentlemen, the power of consistency and intent, your ability to be consistent, your ability to show up again and again is all going to be predicated based upon your self-image and how you see yourself. So it doesn't matter who's on this call today. I want to start to you with word. Somebody type word in the chat. Y'all know I get excited about the word. Y'all know that's where I get my information from, right? I'm not checking for as many gurus as I am checking for what God says. Okay, so let me give it to you exactly the way that the word says it. And you look at Galatians 4:7, it says, so you are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God has made you also an heir. How many guys are excited about being an heir this morning, right? An heir to the throne. How many guys are excited to know that you were sent to have dominion over your territory? Why do I love the the term ambassadors of the kingdom. Why do I love the name ambassadors of the kingdom? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the role of an ambassador is to influence my territory with my government's precepts and principles. Okay, so wherever it is that you're leading in your life, wherever it is that you're dominating in your life, that's your domain, right? And with your domain, your job is to influence your domain with your government's principles and precepts. Okay, so again, it says you're no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God made you also an heir. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I like to start there, because some of you may not understand, you're like, okay, how is this applicable? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who you are, it's going to be impossible to perform consistently, okay, with your highest potential. So you have to start there. You have to say, who am I? You have to first start by saying, what is it that I expect, right? I want somebody today to inspect what you expect. Inspect what you expect for your life. Because if you don't expect greatness, if you don't expect, abundance, then there's no way that you can attract it into your life because of how you see yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this so passionately. As somebody that's coming to you that had nothing, somebody that started from the bottom, somebody that doesn't come from, a massive, abundance in all areas. Some areas, yes, some areas, maybe not so much. But the point is what I'm telling you, I had to do a lot of work on my self-image. I had to do a lot of work, on the way that I saw myself, because I noticed when I didn't see myself in the proper light, when I didn't see myself through the proper scope, I didn't perform as good as I could have, right? Let's move forward. You're a child of God, number one. Number two, you're strong, ladies and gentlemen. Why do I say that? Well, Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You guys all know that scripture. How many guys get excited about that word? Type AOTK in the chat box. And guys, I don't say this to you to be motivational. I don't say this to you to just sound a certain type of a way. If you stand on this and you really see yourself like this, it says all things, not small things. So some of us believe God for small things, but we don't get to believe in God, right, for the big things. We don't get to believe in God for the life that we really want to live. We start saying things like, well, if God wants me to have it, he'll just give it to me. Right. And then we don't go out there and work for it. Then we don't show up in the world the best way that we could show up in the world. Then we don't put in the work to become the best version of ourselves and develop ourselves each and every single day. How many guys got a friend that they blame everything on God? Okay. Right. They say, oh, well, that's because that's what God wanted. Ladies and gentlemen, it says you can do all things, but you obviously have to play your part. But I get excited about that word. Why? Because it lets me know if I can do all things, well, how would you act, ladies and gentlemen, if you knew that you couldn't fail? How would you show up in the world if you knew that you could not lose? How would you show up on the phone call, on the Zoom call, to the meeting, in the workplace? How would you show up if you knew you could not lose? How would you show up in the middle of adversity? When your personal life is flipped upside down, when your financial life is flipped upside down, when things are just not working out, how would you show up if you knew that you could not fail? Okay. It says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. That's Psalms 139:13-15. For you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you. Ladies and gentlemen, I get excited about that, because the word says you're a child of God. It says you're strong. It says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And if you really believe that, you're not going to show up the same. If you really believe that, you're going to have standards. How many guys have been blessed with some parents that you love, some parents that have, sacrificed for you? Yes, anybody? Let me know in the chat box. How many guys had somebody that came before you, parents, guardian, they sacrificed for you? They worked hard for you. They woke up early. They stayed up late. They went the extra mile. Okay. They set you up to have an amazing life. They put you in position. They put you on game. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, when you look at your parents, I'm sure some of you say, I cannot fail. They work too hard. I cannot lose. They did too much. How many guys can say that about the people that came before you, your parents? Ladies and gentlemen, if that's the way you feel about your parents, you should feel even more so about your Father in heaven. Right? So if God made you a child of God, if God made you strong, if God created you to be fearfully and wonderfully made, then if he blessed you with gifts, wouldn't it make sense to use those gifts? Wouldn't it almost be disrespectful not to grow into your full potential, the best version of you? You know, humans are the only species that doesn't grow to their full potential. You look at a tree, it's going to grow as big as a tree can grow. Okay. You look at the animal kingdom, these animals are going to, naturally grow. But then, you look at a human, and ladies and gentlemen, we don't always grow to our full potential. Why? Because we've been given autonomy. We've been given the ability to have free will, freedom of choice. Okay. So you have to choose greatness. You have to choose to believe that you're worthy. You have to choose to believe that you're good enough. You have to choose to work on how you see yourself. And God, I can't even tell you how important that this is. Some of you say, man, I can't stay consistent. Man, I can't, how do you show up again and again? I'm not motivated. Ladies and gentlemen, forget motivation. Throw motivation out the window. Okay, throw motivation out the window. Your feelings should not lead you. You should be doing what it is that you know you have to do, whether you feel like it or not. Okay. I love a quote. It goes like this. It says, the man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. You got to fall in love with walking. You got to fall in love with not the lifestyle, but the lifestyle it takes to get the lifestyle. And the only way that you're going to do that is by increasing your standards. We never rise to the level of our goals. We just fall to the level of our systems. We fall to the level of how we see ourselves. We fall down to what it is that we put in place, our routines. And the only way you're going to stick to a routine, the only way you're going to stick to a habit is if you see yourself operating at a certain level. You're not going to go to the gym because you feel like it. You're going to go to the gym because it's beneath your standard not to go. You're not going to eat healthy because you feel like it. It's only going to last so long. You're only going to eat healthy if that's your routine, if that's your habit, if that's your standard. And likewise, you're not going to succeed at the high level because you feel like it. It's going to be because that is your standard, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you see yourself. So before you change anything, you must first change the way that you see yourself. If you're tracking with me this morning, type of AOTK in the chat. If you're tracking with me this morning, type of AOTK in the chat. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Who's paying attention? Who's paying attention? Okay. We're going to move forward, right? I'm going to show you guys what's next. Self-image is first. We're talking about the power of consistency and intent. It starts with your self-image, but it doesn't stop there. The next, I told you, it gets into your standards. Okay? It gets into your standards. What are you willing to accept? I want to ask you guys right now, what's the least that you will accept for yourself? If you've never done this before, I want you right now, okay? I want you right now to write it down that after this call, you're going to write down the least that you're ever going to accept for yourself. You're going to write down the very least that you will ever accept for yourself. That's what I want you to do after this call. The least, the minimum that you'll accept in the area of your finances, the least, the minimum that you'll accept in the area of your relationship, the least, the minimum that you're going to accept in your personal life. Okay. Go write that down. You see, ladies and gentlemen, if anything in my life falls below standard, everything moves out the way until we bring it back up to standard. Okay. Do I have some people that have some standards in the building? Type of AOTK in the chat box. You got to have standards. Okay. It doesn't, I mean, if it might be where you live at, it might be a certain, uh, you know, energy, right? In the environments that you're in. When you have standards and the energy is below your standard, you'll leave the environment. Okay. If you have standards around your health and fitness, if you have standards around your finances, if you have standards about the kind of relationship that you want to be in, if you have standards about the relationship that you want to have with your family, with your friends, if you have those standards, you will do anything to make sure everything is up to par and everything is up to standard. Am I right or am I right? So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be consistent, if you know that you're going to show up again and again, I remember a specific period of my life where I said, you know what, if I don't do anything else, I'm going to do this, this, and this. If I don't do nothing else, I have to get this done. And if it's not like that for you, well, let me tell you, you're not on your way to doing anything big. Anybody that wins at anything, they've got some serious standards. They've got some very serious routines in place to support those standards. So first, you have to change the way you see yourself. Second, you got to put some standards in place. Okay. I told you why you should see yourself the way that you should. And it's based upon word. It's not what a guru says. It's about what God says. And so when you can understand how to see yourself as a child of God, as strong, as fearfully and wonderfully made, naturally the domino effect is, okay, well, if I'm supposed to be this person, well, shouldn't I live like one? Okay, let me put some standards in place. Okay, let me put some systems in place. Let me put some routines in place. Okay, wait a minute. I won't go to sleep until I do this, this, and this. I don't get to enjoy recreation until I do this, this, and this. I don't get to hang out until I take care of this, this, and this. I don't get to just do nothing with my life until I do this, this, and this. If you hear what I'm saying, somebody type of ALTK in the chat. The power of consistency and intent, ladies and gentlemen, will change your life in the area, and in all areas. It doesn't matter what area. Okay. But let's move forward. It doesn't stop with self-image. It doesn't stop with your standards. It doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. It goes on to how you do anything is how you do everything. Let me tell you something. When you have standards in your life, those standards stretch across multiple areas of your life. Let me prove it to you. Let me explain what it is that I'm talking about. If you're inconsistent in one area, you're most likely going to be inconsistent in other areas. So, you know, I like to practice the concept, ladies and gentlemen, of one more. Right. So if you're going to do something, ladies and gentlemen, just to make, I don't know if I'm the only one that does this. If you got an athletic background, you probably have the same mentality, but it's the power of one more. So in other words, if let's just say it's the gym. If you're in the gym and you have, 4 sets of 8, right? Or if you're doing a set and you're supposed to do 8 reps, sometimes I like to just play a game in my brain. I like to just do 9. Okay, right? If I'm supposed to do a certain amount of phone calls, right, I'm just going to do one more, right? If I'm supposed to, have a certain amount of activity, a certain amount of meetings, I might just do one more. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, it creates a domino effect that lets your brain know that you're serious. It lets your brain know, ladies and gentlemen, that you are deserving. It puts you in a mind frame that how you do anything is how you do everything. Has nothing to do with the gym. Has nothing to do with, meetings. It has everything to do with how you do anything is how you do everything. How many guys know somebody that, their standard is excellence and you can tell? You look at this area of their life, on point. You look at that area of their life, on point. You get to see them in their personal space, on point. And you just notice a theme with great people, with people with a standard of excellence. It seems like they're not just great in one area. They just tend to be great at this, and they tend to be great at that. And they tend to keep everything in their life to that certain expectation level. Ladies and gentlemen, that is because how you do anything is how you do everything. You really don't need, okay, consistency to succeed. You don't want, okay, success that didn't come from consistency. Let me explain what it is that I mean. If you have success, and that success didn't come from your routines, and that success didn't come from your habits, you will always fall back to the level of your habits, to the level of your systems. You want to have the kind of success that you deserve. You know, I tell people, stop wishing on a star for the life that you want. Stop wishing on a star for a certain level of success. Just be the person that deserves it. Be the person that earned it. Be the person that, wow, you seen him? Yeah, of course he's successful. Wow, you seen her? You see what she does every day? You see how she leads her life? Of course she's successful. Be that person. Don't be the person that, yeah, I just slipped and tripped and fell and I don't know how it happened. I'm successful. That is going to be short-lived. Okay? It's about your habits. It's about your routines. Where there's rhythm, there's success. Where there's rhythm, there's success. Where there's rhythm and a flow, there is success. Okay, moving forward, right? Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't stop there. You're sending a message. This is what I really love. I really love this part because when you're consistent, right? And when you have intention, okay, and you show up on purpose, you're sending a message, right? You're sending a message to others that you're qualified. Those of you who are leaders on this call, you want people to follow you. You're trying to send a message and you know you need a team to do it. The way that you actually send a message to the people who you intend to lead is by showing up again and again and again. You ever seen that person, they just keep showing up? You're like, man, it don't matter what's going on, what time of the year, for some reason, that person just keeps on showing up. They don't stop. You send a message to others that you're qualified. Hey, the vast majority of people are inconsistent, y'all. Most people, they don't show up again and again and again. They don't. Just watch them for 3 months. They'll stop. Watch them for 30 days. They'll stop. You'll catch it. Okay? People follow strength and not weakness. Ladies and gentlemen, you send a message to any coaches that you're working with that you're serious. You're blessed enough to find a coach, a mentor. When you show up again and again and again, you let them know unequivocally, I am ready for the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, you send a message to yourself. This is the biggest one. You let yourself know. How many guys you say, oh, I'm going to go to the next level. Oh, I just can't wait to, have success. And, this is my time. This is my season. How many guys ever said that before? But when you look in the mirror, you don't really believe it. You don't really believe it. Why? Because you just said that to yourself last New Year's. You just had that same revolution for the last 3 years in a row. You just told yourself that in the last business. You just told yourself that in the last season, at the last event. You just told yourself that the last time that you watched Eric Thomas on YouTube. Okay? You send a message to yourself when you're consistent, ladies and gentlemen, that you deserve success, that you deserve success. Okay, how many guys want to start deserving success? Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, you send a message to the universe. Will Smith said it this way: make a choice of what you want, who you want to be, and how you're going to do it. The universe will get out of your way. I'm going to say it again. Will Smith says it this way: make a choice of what you want, who you want to be, and how you're going to do it. The universe will get out of your way. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how I live my life. This is how anybody that has achieved anything big, it's how they live their life. When you make a decision and you have a mission and you have a goal, you have a purpose, and you really mean it, understand all true vision must be tested for authenticity. We're going to know the difference Whether you're a diamond and you can last and you can stand the rain, you can stand the pressure, or if you're cubic zirconia and you break under the pressure and you shatter through adversity. There's a difference. Are you diamond? Are you cubic zirconia? Y'all let me know in the chat. Are you diamond? Are you cubic zirconia? Okay. Right. The diamonds, ladies and gentlemen, are formed under pressure. Cubic zirconia will break under pressure. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, I want to tell you about something called the compound effect. Let me tell you something. Consistency. Come on. Consistency, ladies and gentlemen, is extremely powerful, because guess what? When you're really consistent, 1 + 1 doesn't anymore equal 2, it starts equaling 11. 1 + 1, ladies and gentlemen, you begin to grow exponentially. You're not multiplying, you're growing exponentially. Consistency in business is like compound interest in investing. I say consistency in business is like compound interest in investing. It just starts dominoing. It just starts getting bigger. Next thing you know, everything is changing. Next thing you know, everything around you is growing. Let me tell you something. Freedom is nothing without discipline. Some of us, we want all the freedom in the world, but we ain't got no discipline. We want all the freedom in the world, but we take that freedom and we sit on the couch with it and we watch TV. We take that freedom and we hang out. We take that freedom and we're not productive. You cannot have freedom. Freedom is nothing without discipline. That's why many of us try to go full time in business too soon, and we don't know what to do with all that freedom. Oh my, why? If you can discipline yourself, you will work for somebody else that was able to discipline themselves, and they'll discipline you. They'll tell you what to do. They'll tell you when to show up. They'll tell you the repercussions for not showing up on time. If you can't show up on time for yourself, you're either going to build your dreams or you're going to spend the rest of your life building somebody else's dreams. So the more consistent you are, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? The luckier you get. I just keep getting lucky. Why? Consistency. You know, luck, ladies and gentlemen, is really just numbers. It's just odds. Luck, ladies and gentlemen, is really just laboring under correct knowledge. That's all luck is, ladies and gentlemen. And when you show up again and again and you're consistent and you keep on showing up, you're going to start to get luckier. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I truly live by. Commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. When you first started doing that thing, let's be honest, it's very emotional. You're up, you're down, you're hot, you're cold, you're in, you're out. Oh my goodness, is it working? Is it not working? Oh my goodness, am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Oh my goodness, is it happening? Is it not happening? Oh my goodness, is this the right thing? Is it not? This is the emotional roller coaster that comes with dream chasing. We're trying to achieve anything big. It's always going to happen. You know, they say doubt is the best salesman. Why? He shows up at your door every single day. But commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. When you show up again and again and again, you send that message to yourself. You send that message to others. You send that message to your coach, to your mentor. You send that message to the universe that you are ready, that you are good enough, that it is your time, that it is the season for your breakthrough. If you believe it, type of AOTK in the chat box. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this morning. I know I did. If you're on YouTube, again, watching this on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, share it. Help us grow. These calls are absolutely free. There's no charge. There's no extra agenda. The goal is to show people above all else that if you practice God's principles, you can participate in his promises. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a blessed AOTK Saturday, and I will see you on the next one.